Hello gentlemen, welcome to our stream. So let me introduce myself. My name is Vladimir. I'm tactical instructor in European Bodyguard and Security Service Association. This is the leading provider of tactical and firearms training for military, law enforcement and security professionals. As for myself, I have more than 10 years of practical experience in close protection at international level, and I have 6 years in the French Foreign Legion in reconnaissance unit. Let's see who is with us today. Write please the comments from where you are. Write your country. Like this we see who is joining us now for this stream that is connected with the subject of international laws about armed close protection. Okay, let's see who is here. Okay, and let's welcome the gentleman from United States of America, from South Africa. We see the gentleman from Mexico, Cyprus, New Zealand, quite a lot actually, all over the world. France, Brazil, Nigeria, Kenya is here, Georgia, Spain, Argentina. So don't hesitate to write your country in comments. Okay, hello to everyone again. Everybody is here. Let's start. Gentlemen, how we discuss today? So we discuss one module, and after that I will read all your comments, and I will try to answer all of them. Okay, so don't hesitate to ask your questions about how the international close protection operators work in armed security. Okay, let's start. So, the bodyguard with the weapon is the most common image of international CP work. So, there is a kind of misconception always sold out by some training center that when you are working in close protection at the international level, you can carry your personal weapon wherever you want. Let's say that this is not true, at least this is partially not true, at least. There are some exceptions, but in general, it doesn't work like this. Gun laws, they are strictly regulated all over the world. This is the very sensitive discipline, and every country has its own weapon laws. So they're quite tight for the citizens, and they're even more tight for foreign specialists. So to use your personal weapon in any foreign country, you have to fill in a lot of formalities. And I can tell you directly, in most cases, it's even almost impossible. So let's analyze case by case, step by step, and like this, we'll come to the conclusions that will be useful for you in your future CP work if you consider to work at international level. Okay? First of all, let me tell you one thing. We speak about legal work. We don't speak about some kind of mercenary units that are acting all over across the Africa, for example, or somewhere in Middle East. So we speak about close protection, personal protection work in high-risk areas, where you really need to be armed, where you can carry the weapon, and where your weapon skills are important to protect the life and the health of your client. So again, I repeat, we deal only with legal structure, with legal framework. We don't touch any gray zone, any mercenary stories. This is outside of our context. Okay, everybody understand this? Hope so. Okay, so let's begin with the basic point. Why it's always almost impossible to travel with your own weapon? First of all, every country has its strict gun laws, and for the citizens and for security professionals. In many countries, especially in Europe, close protection operatives, they are working without weapons. And this is the law. So if you work without a weapon in your home country, logically, you have nothing to take with yourself to another country. It's all about the legislation. In some countries, the use of weapon is authorized. But again, what is authorized in one country can be prohibited in another country. Again, we need to balance. We need to understand that the laws are different. And as a rule, the laws for the citizens of this country can be strict, but for foreign specialists, they will be even more strict. Okay, and it requires a lot of licenses and documentation work. So how it happens in general? Normally, a client takes one or two operatives with him to the international visit. And these operatives who are responsible for his close protection, they try to find at place the local security company with all necessary licenses and all necessary gun permits. So in reality, these one or two gentlemen who escort the client, they don't take the weapons themselves. They use the local security company as, let's say, filed manpower. And the configuration, the close protection configuration looks like this. The team leader, deputy team leader from the country of the client, and armed operatives from the host country. This is the most common structure of close protection, armed close protection work in the world. Do you have any questions about this? If you have something, don't hesitate to share it in comments. Let me see. For now, as I see, everybody is understanding. It's good. Okay, great. So the thing that you should know, they should understand, nobody is traveling with his own gun. Okay? So even you have the best Glock that you like, or the best AK that you are, with that you are a really great shooter, nobody will let you take it with you for your assignment, for your professional assignment. Okay? So normally the point number one, the most common thing, we use local security companies to provide us the manpower, the armed manpower. Hope everybody understands. Okay, some comments. Let's see the comments before coming to the next model. If I finish one of the courses, will you offer me a job? Okay, for you to understand, we are the training center. We are not a security company. Sometimes, and quite often, I can say, we receive the demands for some operatives. So we can recommend some of our graduates, but we don't offer any job to anybody. So it should be clear. Next comment. How much for the training? This, I think it's better that you consult the official website of the company, ebssa.net. There you can find all the prices and the course schedule. Okay, no more comments? Let's continue. Till that moment, everything is okay. Okay, everybody understands. Okay, about another model when expatriate security operatives, they get a temporary weapon permit. It happens in hostile areas in Middle East, in Africa somewhere. So normally the Ministry of Interior or any regulated body who is responsible for the laws that are connected with weapon permits etc., they issue the specific license for an expatriate close protection officer that allows him to use the weapon in his during his professional duties. Normally, this kind of license has time limit, and also it requires official working permit that allows you to execute your duties at the territory of this or that country. Without this, any armored work in this specific country will be illegal. Even if you receive this kind of license when you are working, for example, somewhere in Middle East, your weapon will not be constantly with you. It will be stored or at the police or at the armory of a local security company or at the armory of the company that hired you as a security operative. Okay? So again, it will not be like in the movies or when a bodyguard is always with his handgun, he sleeps with this, he walks with this, he protects the client. So again, this sphere is really strictly regulated. You will have the access to your weapon only for your missions. How it happens in reality? In the morning, before start, you go with your team to the armory. Your operational manager or the gentleman who is responsible for the weapons, he gives you the weapons, you sign that you received the weapon, ammo, magazine, everything, and then you go for your mission. After the mission, directly you go to the armory and you give your weapon and your ammo back. And you sign time, number of weapons, number of ammo. So it's really, sometimes it can be quite bureaucratic. Finish mission, I want you to understand, and I want you to remember, finish no mission, no weapon. Okay? It is clear? Do you have any questions? Okay, if there is there are no questions, we continue. Let's see comments. Okay, no comments. Let's move on. In all this story, there is a specific part, diplomatic close protection teams. These gentlemen actually, they are working at the state level. And only them, they can travel with their weapons, but because of government-to-government negotiations and agreements. It's important to understand, in general, these are not private structures. These are the specially trained guys who are working for diplomatic service, and they are subject of international agreements and international laws. Again, these are not the special agents with the license to kill. This is they belong to governmental security service. In the most cases, 99% of the cases, even if the security of an embassy or some diplomatic team is provided by private company, the personnel of this company is armed only in this exactly country where this service is provided. So they don't travel with the diplomatic team all over the world. The thing to understand, you work for diplomatic team as a private contractor, you are eligible, your license is valid only for this exactly country. You will never cross the border with your own handgun or with your own carbine. Hope it's clear. If you have any questions, comments, feel free to share. I understand that it may ruin some stereotypes, but the security world is like this. It's not about cinema, it's not about run and gun, it's about procedures, it's about thinking, it's about flexibility and adaptation. Okay, let's see. No comments for a moment. Okay. Now we come to the point of regional differences. Every region of the world has its own specific features. Let's start with Europe. Surprisingly, but in most European countries, close protection operatives are working unarmed. That's why the well-known standard SIA doesn't require any firearms training, but it's valid only for Europe. Okay? So, European security is quite different from hostile areas. Middle East. All of us, we know what is happening now in the Middle East, and all of us, we expect that the security market will go up. But anyway, don't dream to be an action movie hero. Everything is strictly regulated by local laws. Again, as a security contractor, or you will be hired by a local company or by 50-50 local and Western company, okay? But it should have its local representative. So again, when you arrive at the place of your deployment, you will act according to the local laws and according to the rights that gives you the local working permit and local weapon license. And what is also important to understand, any cases of usage of weapon by a private security contractor will be thoroughly investigated by local police and local legal structures. So let's say it's important to shoot well, but it's much more important to understand when you need to shoot and when it's better not to shoot at all. Okay? Next point, Africa, a big region that is really non-stable now. What can we see? We don't speak about mercenaries, mining security. Any close protection work very often requires arm protection. Again, the system is more or less the same. Or you work with local security company, or you try to take local work permit and weapon license. If you don't have this or that, you are out of the law. And I think nobody wants to come to local African prison for the violation of gun laws. Okay? In Latin America, the situation is also more or less the same. That's why, I repeat again, due to the local legislation, armed close protection are not working for themselves. Normally they are closely connected with local security companies. Hope everything is clear. Let's see the comments. Do you have any questions? Till now, okay, it's okay. So no comments. I suppose that everybody understands the subject and the argumentation. Okay, we go to the next point. It can be surprising for somebody, but we will speak about armed protection and unarmed protection. Gentlemen, when you work in this sphere, you should really understand that shooting skill is just one of the big set of skills that any close protection operative should have. Okay? And again, surprisingly, the highest salaries in this sphere are not in high risk. They are in corporate security and family offices that are dealing with ultra-rich families. And in these cases, the most part of the security operatives, they are working unarmed. Why? Because the presence of arm is just one part of protective security. And in many environments, this is not the most important part. What is really important is advanced work, threat management, correct risk management, prioritizing, and situational awareness. All these skills together, they are much more important than just good weapon handling and shooting skills. Let's see the comments. Okay, Pereira V1, 6 years of military experience. Do I need to undergo training before starting to serve? Okay, good questions. First of all, a military experience doesn't guarantee itself any employment in close protection or in personal protection, even armed personal protection. Why? Because the job is totally different. Some points are in common, but in general, the tactics is different, the context is different, your status is different. So that's why the most part of security companies, they ask for specialized training course. Even if you are an army veteran with good, extensive military experience, you should undergo some specific training courses like private military contractor, close protection operative, or personal security detail. The comments from the Taver operator: drinks are allowed or not after training in hotels. Okay, what can I say? Those who search, they will find for sure, but in the most part of the company, I would say 99.9%, alcohol on duty is strictly prohibited. Next comment, Capone L. Al Capone, almost. Why the ESA Irish certificate is more valued and you have more salary in Middle East? I don't know, I have never heard about that. Normally the salary in Middle East or in Africa, it doesn't depend on the type of your certificate. It depends on your position and it depends on your company. For the same position, for example, I can tell you about the Middle East currently now. For the same position, the day rate can be different in 2-3 times. Depends on the company, depends on the project, and depends on the environment where you're working. So it's not about the certificate, it's about the company that hires you. Okay, gentlemen, more questions? If you have. Okay, seems to be clear. Okay, to sum it up about what skills you are actually need to work efficiently and to be a demanded specialist in high-risk zone. First of all, you need to have the certificate of a recognized training center that you pass the training course in personal protection. Secondly, this is a must-have. Certificate about medical first aid. The higher is the level, the better is for you. Thirdly, your personal set of skills related to close protection. The mindset. The capacity of risk analysis. The capacity of analyzing the situation correctly. The capacity of defining the threats. The capacity of decision making. These are the really crucial point of the job. Also, it's good to have solid driving skills and, of course, solid weapon handling skills. But again, gentlemen, don't dream. Weapon handling and shooting skills, this is just one part of the big field of close protection, of personal protection work, even in hostile areas. Hope this is more or less clear. We have another comment. Zivkovic 77.
My plan is to move from software engineering to the security field. I am training regularly with arms and physically as well. I wonder, what would you suggest me as a first step to undergo? Okay, good questions. Good question. Thank you for this question. First of all, depends on your weapon handling level. If you shoot regularly, if you are good in weapon handling, you can go directly to any tactical course like close protection, like private military contractor, like personal security detail in hostile areas, like hostile environment, close protection operative, whatever that corresponds your needs. If you don't feel easy with weapons, it's better to undergo basic or advanced weapon training. And then also it's very good, it's must have, as I told you, any good medical first aid course. Okay, next comment. Tishan Shakma, I have no experience, no degree, still I want to join. How can I apply to join what? To join the courses? Okay, go to the internet site ebssa.net and you'll find all the contacts and you will find the schedule for the courses. Okay. Yes, hello to Kazakhstan. Nice to see you on my stream. And ever operator, what is the refund policy if the course is cancelled due to war reason? I think it's better that you contact our HQ. You go to the website ebssa.net, you find the contacts of our headquarters, and these questions you discuss with them. I am tactical instructor. I am not responsible for any organizational issues. Next comment. Next comment. What about job opportunities about the course? Do you provide placements also? Rashor Singh Tavin there. What about the same comment? Okay. This is the most common questions. Gentlemen, we are not a security agency. We are training provider. So we provide you the training, tactical firearms training. Of course, we have the connections with security companies, and very often we receive demands for our graduates. Again, depends on the level of the graduate. If a gentleman finishes the course correctly with good results, we will be pleased to recommend them to any security company. Okay? But again, I repeat, we don't promise, we don't provide any job offers. Okay? We can provide you credentials, we can share the job opportunities that we receive, but we don't offer any job after finishing the courses. Next, Mercantile Malone. I'm from Nigeria. Hello, Nigeria. What are the best courses for me? I'm a cybersecurity specialist moving into close protection, PSD and PMC. First of all, as I said, first of all, weapon handling. If you have the problems with this, first of all, you start with correct weapon handling, and then you go to any tactical course, okay, related to the sphere of personal protection. The list of the courses you can find in our website, ebssa.net. Kina Kiyoshi, what about CPO carrying aged weapons? As far as I understand, you speak about some katana or something. Okay, aged weapons. Again, if we speak about weapons, firearms or aged weapons, as you said, they are under the regulations of the local laws. In some countries, even a small knife can be considered a weapon, and you will need to have a special license for this. In general, in Middle East and in Africa, about aged weapons, the laws are more or less easy. So you can carry whatever you want, almost whatever you want, in certain degree. Okay, but again, it depends why you are carrying this and what you will do with that. There is no, if the question is about the license, there is no, at least I don't know any special license for aged weapons in this sphere. Nenad Victor Uniform 76, do you have training courses in Serbia? Yes, exactly, we are in Serbia. We have 2 big facilities in Niš and in Požarevac. Welcome. Okay, Mr. Capone L. If I have CPO level 3 and leader level 1 and I will for the first time to Middle East, how much is the salary? Again, depends. Depends on the project where you go, depends on the company that is recruiting you, depends on your position. Again, be logical, the salary of the operator and the salary of operations managers, they are different. So the fork of the salaries is quite large. It can start from really, in Middle East now, it can start from $75 a day, it can go till 350. Depends on your experience, depends on the company. Taver operator, again, the comment, photo shoot and making videos reels are allowed in training area or training range. Yes, you can do the videos, you can make pictures, okay, for you to use after, but please share of them. First of all, be aware that some students don't want to be filmed due to their personal reasons, and mind the sharing this in social media. About this we speak in details before each course. So come to us, we will explain. Next comment, Sevi Echo for Foxtrot. From your experience, the transition from civilian work to work in PM, private military, as far as I understand. Have you seen or witnessed such cases? And if you see, what are the challenges they usually face? Me personally, I've seen several, yes, as I told in previous stream, I've seen several cases when the guys without any military experience, they were successful in personal security detail work in hostile areas. It's possible. It's not easy. It's not easy, but it's really possible. It happens. And what are the challenges they usually face? First of all, the challenge is correct weapon handling. But for this, normally, if a gentleman understands where he goes, first of all, he prepares, so he goes to courses, he practices, so normally he's well prepared for that. Okay, first of all, the weapon handling. Then sometimes maybe understanding of the environment, but it comes with the experience. And that's it. You see, again, speaking about the work in private security companies, you see, you are who you are. So depends on your personal qualities and your efficiency at your place. Previous experience is important to be hired. When you are already in deployment, everybody will estimate you due to your personal qualities and due to your work, the quality of your work that you are doing. Next comment, Spaniard Rodriguez. Could we organize a course in Spain for a group? I think yes. Contact the HQ headquarters. Again, go to website ebssa.net. You will see all the contacts there. So speak with our administration. I think it's possible. And we will also, if this option is convenient for you, we can organize a course in Serbia here, especially for your group in Spanish. We have Spanish-speaking instructors, so, and as you know, gun laws in Serbia is quite liberal, so we can. It's better to make it here. ARC Paratus outdoors. How do you stay mentally prepared to use the skills you teach? It comes, I think, it comes with training, it comes with experience. You see, again, you pass the training course. It doesn't mean that everything finishes with that. If you want to stay in the field, you should work on yourself constantly. One training course, you drill what you learned. Next training course, you increase your level, you drill what you learned. And this is the process of self-development. And also practical experience gives you a lot of additional knowledge. Safredi, when you will be offering PMC courses in South America, Peru, or Ecuador? Blessings from Ecuador, South America. Okay, thank you very much. We have actually our representative, and we are planning to come to you in this year. For further information, don't hesitate. Contact our website, contact our headquarters. You have all the contacts, all the phone numbers, WhatsApp number at our website, ebssa.net. You are most welcome. Okay. No more comments. Thank you, gentlemen, for your one more. Okay. Andrei Partno, EBSSA, I want to visit your academy. I want to practice. I'll organize a flight when I can. I've always wanted to visit and train at EBSSA. Greetings, a hug, brother. Thank you very much for these words. Really, you will be most welcome to come. Whenever you can, come. It will be a pleasure. Okay, that's it. That's it. Okay, gentlemen, thank you for your comments. Thank you very much for your questions. To sum it up, our stream, okay? The conclusions, the main conclusions. The image of a armed bodyguard is powerful, but it's not always realistic. So when you expect to work in hostile areas, when you dream about armed close protection work, be realistic. Okay? The thing is, you will be always in accordance with local weapon laws. And also, pay attention to this fact. Weapon handling skills, shooting skills are important, but close protection work is not limited by this. This is much, much larger. And to be a good operative, to promote your career, to have better salaries, you need to acquire a set of skills that is necessary for this exactly job. Okay? If you don't have any more questions, thank you for participation. Okay, one more. Kyoshi, do you organize any courses in Asia? Not yet, we are working on it, but you can always join us in Serbia. We will be glad to see you. Let's see. Martinez Ronids, je veux apprendre à tirer. Ok, il n'y a pas de souci. Vous pouvez toujours venir. On peut vous enseigner en français avec plaisir. In English is actually the question is I want to learn how to shoot. So come to us. We can teach you in English, in French, in Spanish, in Italian, in Russian. So welcome. Sebas Bota, what about counter-assault tactics? And what about counter-assault tactics? Please detail your question. Yes, this counter-assault tactics exists. Yes, we train this, but it depends on which aspect you are asking. Is there an age limit? Yes, of course, minimum 18. Maximum age limit depends on your physical form and your mental health, of course. More questions, gentlemen? Don't be shy. If you have something to add or to share your experience about the subject, please feel free. Okay, I see the comment. And hey, Diaz, thanks, course online, the EBSSA, very good time, 3 courses online. Great, we are really glad that you enjoy our online courses. By the way, if you want to broaden the skills in close protection, okay, it's always the question of self-development. And from that point, online courses can be very helpful. Again, close protection work, physical protection is about the set of mind. It's about thinking, first of all, and only then it's about action. Okay? More questions? Feel free to share. I see one more comment. Life ended, journey begins. Nice nickname. Okay, hello, I'm from India. Hello, India. I want to train with your organization. Yes, there is no problem. You come to Serbia, you contact our headquarters, you choose your course, you come, you train. ebssa.net. Easy and logical. Dunamis Xamro, are these courses worldwide recognized? We are recognized by ISO. This is the organization that sets up international standards. So we have several ISO certificates in different spheres. So actually, and this is one of the most famous regulating body in the world. I see more questions. James Albert, I look forward to putting boots on the ground with you in May, 55 days away. Great insight, and I've learned a lot from your online courses, the same but very different than Canadian Forces training. I've learned a lot, thank you. Thank you very much for this feedback. Come to us, I think it will be much more interesting than in online. So hands-on course is more dynamic, and I hope you will find it useful and intensive, of course. Kinai Kyoshi, thank you very much. It would be helpful if your next topic is about firearms training. I'm sure many are interested. Good idea. Please develop it. What kind of firearms training are you interested in, and what aspects they are interesting for you personally? And while you are developing the idea, okay, Felix Nomad, I already completed the HECPO course with your company. Can you support with job placement at the moment? First of all, contact HQ. Secondly, again, when we have the demands from the security companies, we are sharing this. We are sharing them with our graduates. Opsan Ray, I want to get trained in hand-to-hand combat. I have one question. How many guys can one guy fight at one time after completing the course in situation of multiple attackers? Whoa, this is a really nice question. You see, it depends not, from my point of view, okay, it depends not on the course that you finished, but on your physical abilities and how hard you were working during this course. And of course, it also depends on the level of attackers. Maybe they also finished our courses. Okay? More questions, gentlemen? I'm still waiting about the development of the subject about firearms training. What exactly you are interested in firearms training? Which point you would like to discuss? Okay, I see the questions are over. The most interesting actually it was about hand-to-head combat, I think. Okay, gentlemen, if you don't have any questions, thank you very much for participation. We will be glad to see you at the next stream next week. And the topic of the stream will be how to choose the right tactical training. And we will discuss the points about good training centers and the points where the most people got wrong. Okay? Finally, firearms courses you offer, is there a prerequisite before joining, etc.? Kinai Kyoshi. Okay, about firearms courses. Our firearms courses are open to everybody if you are older than 18 years old. Normally, if you think about advanced courses, it's better, first of all, to do basic. Like this, you will learn more and you will learn in more efficient manner. Okay, so we recommend to start with basic and then you can proceed to advanced weapon training. Depends on the type of the training that you need. Pistol, carabine, combined firearms, etc. Okay? If everything is clear, thanks again. See you next week.